Hello, good morning, and welcome to Creepy Cheapies with Dr. Lady. I'm Winston Churchill, and now I'd like to take a moment to welcome our new sponsor. Friends, do you find yourself sweating the small stuff, obsessing over things to a degree that you just can't control, and getting all worked up and fired up and upset over things that are really just smaller than they seem and not really worth that much thought and energy and being so upset? Well then, try new and improved 5-Hour Shut the Hell Up. Yes, 5-Hour Shut the Hell Up will provide fast-acting, safe, and effective relief for your poor, long-suffering spouses, family members, friends, and co-workers who are just about ready to drive their cars off cliffs because of the way you carry on about things that you don't really know anything about and get yourself all upset over trifles. Try some today. From the makers of Get Over Yourself. Today's mask, on the other hand, which is probably why you really tuned in here, happens to be this monstrosity. This mask doesn't get enough attention. I think it's kind of a masterpiece, but people didn't seem to notice it that much. So I'm telling you about SHRIEK. He's just called SHRIEK, spelled just like the word shriek, S-H-R-I-E-K. SHRIEK, okay? And SHRIEK is a Death Studios product. And you know, one way you can always tell a Death Studios product, actually just come right out and tell him in plain English, because they're pretty tough. They can take the truth. They can take it. Another way you can tell them is by the odd greenish color frequently seen on the teeth along the gum lines. Most mask studios tend to use brown or reddish brown or yellow or even black, but the Death Studio masks have a lot of creepy green, especially the dead type persons, like SHRIEK here. Now I believe SHRIEK was sculpted by Jeff Death himself for you, and look what a beautiful, beautiful sculpture this is. And you might think, if you didn't know better, you might think, oh, another skull mask. There have been so many skull masks, and there are a million of them every year, and yeah, another skull. But leave it to Mr. Death to come up with a way to make a skull mask cool and interesting and unique. It's a Trey unique SHRIEK this week. The freak of the week is SHRIEK, and he's quite unique. What do you say? So to speak. He was originally issued with his little vampire fangs here, just like this, but without any hair, as an edition called Vampire Skull. And the Vampire Skull was only available for a short time in the 90s, I guess, and then discontinued. And then the SHRIEK mask came into production around 2000, and then was out of production again for a while, and then was recently reissued again. And the Vampire Skull version is great too, but I like the really strange and interesting look of the SHRIEK version, because it's so startling to see such a skull with no flesh at all on it, with this incongruous head of pretty full white hair. It looks really cool, and it looks very simple, unpretentious, kind of spooky, ghosty Halloween, with an attitude that I like. Now, if you're going to be wearing this for any length of time, you can get them either trimmed or untrimmed. I should zoom back in so you can see where this is trimmed. If you get the wearable version, okay, can you see the cuts that are going on there? There are little cuts at the tops of the skull's eye sockets. Now, if you're going to be wearing this for any length of time, you could cut those eye holes out bigger, as big as you need, as big as you like, right up into, cutting the whole eye socket out and putting black fabric back in there, or mesh fabric back in there or something. You could, or if you just want it for display, here you go. Just leave it like that. Or you could cut all this black stuff off without really ruining the effect of the mask, because he doesn't have bones or muscles or anything. This just makes a super nice display piece, and gives you something to tuck into your costume, or if you're putting it on a mannequin figure, gives you something to tuck in there to hold the mask in place properly so it doesn't slip around when you or your favorite mannequin of choice is wearing it to scare people. Now, I've had this particular one for approximately forever. Okay, I think I've had this one since oh my, the early 00s, and it still looks like brand new, which I think testifies to the excellent quality of Death Studios products. But I think the hair on them today is different because this kind of hair from a company that was called NHT and then NFT, that company used to make their hair readily available, and now it's much harder to come by, so I don't think it has this exact type of hair on it. It's going to look pretty similar, and it still looks great, and it's got this white hair, the same style and the same length and the same basic amount, and that. Just don't hold me to the exact texture of the hair fibers because they might be different today. Now the Shriek version is dated on the back 2000 Death Studios, so that's when this particular mold first went into use, and I think I've had this one just about that long, and again, he looks like brand new, so always a good deal with Death Studios. I think these are about 90 bucks. He was 60 back in the day, but then with the increasing cost of both latex and hair, all the prices have gone up, and today I think he's going to set you back about 90, but I recommend it. It's super thick, good quality latex. The paint job is outstanding, and like everything you get from Death Studios, it's not just a Halloween mask to throw around. It's a real work of art and a real collectible, and I like Shriek a lot. If I was going to wear it, I would probably just use a black robe, like a Grim Reaper robe, or you know what, even like look at what I've got on right now would look pretty good with Shriek. And you can get rubber skeleton bony hands and skeleton bony feet if you like and put with it. But anyway, big thumbs up for Shriek, the vampire skull with the white hair haunting you from the tombs of Death Studios. And until next time, beware of those vampire skull masks. I'm not sure if they start with a skull or if they started out with a vampire mask and then left it out in the sun.